Hello, I'm Lori Michelle, part two. I left off that I was awoken on April 7th, 2009 to the voice of none other than God himself. And he told me to get pen and paper and start writing, and I did. And from that moment on, it led me on a journey that I could never have predicted. Up until that point, I was non-observant. I never read the Bible, never. I didn't know what a Chumash was, which is the 5 books of Moses, the written Torah. I didn't know that name, and I didn't know what the Talmud was. I didn't know much. And I realize now that that was all on purpose, that my life and that everything in our lives is on purpose and for a reason. I woke up that morning with a clear mind, a blank slate really, no prejudices, no need to be right, but wanting to get it right. In fact, my whole life, I've been on a journey where I've always worked on myself. I used to go into the self-help section of the bookstore all the time. In fact, my children all knew that was Mom's section over there. I always worked on myself. I always wanted to get it right. And I was fascinated by certain authors. I loved Wayne Dyer. May he rest in peace. He was a beautiful soul, and my husband used to joke around that he shared his bed with Wayne Dyer. And what he meant was every night I would read a chapter of one of his books. He was a wonderful, wonderful writer. And I got a lot of information that helped me through very difficult parts of my life. Good man. But those kinds of writers were the only writers I ever reached for. I didn't know about Torah or Jewish thought or any of that. It wasn't on my radar. I was a completely assimilated and secular Jew. I hope that doesn't make you click away and say, wow, I don't want to learn from her. She's not like me. But the truth is, I think there's a song, I Am Every Woman, something like that. But I'm every person. I am as ordinary and as plain as day. I'm a normal, ordinary American mom who woke up one day to a miracle. A miracle that was the most tremendous blessing anybody could ever imagine, but turned into a nightmare. It was both. And along the way, over these 7 years, this happened over 7 years ago, I've learned so much and increased my vocabulary. Hashem, the King, has given me words along the way that I never used and never looked up and never thought about. And one day he used the word dichotomy. And I thought, maybe you might think I'm illiterate. I'm really not, but I never used that word. But I realized when he explained what a dichotomy is that it's both. And most things in this world can be both. And it's fascinating that my biggest miracle and blessing, wow, was a nightmare. And why? Because it's very hard to accept by people. People didn't accept what I was saying. They had preconceived notions as to whether or not we can actually speak to God himself, whether or not we have to be a man in order to do that, or whether or not it's even possible. And if you mix in things like prophecy and Bible, they think you've lost it and gone crazy. The secular world doesn't accept that. The religious world has their own notions of what is true. And what I'm hoping happens through all of this and all of these recordings is that I enlist truth seekers and leaders. I don't necessarily want to do this. I have to do this. This is my calling. I must do this. As a matter of fact, I have never envied famous people, well-known people. I've always thought that their lives were tragic. and I never envied them. I always felt very sorry for their problems. I hated going to the supermarket and seeing all those terrible magazines, the Enquirer, all the terrible filth that people were circulating about them. I hated it, and I really felt for them, that they brought so much joy into our lives. They gave us so much and entertained us, and this is their payback? So no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be famous, but I need to be heard. And what I do hope is that you will share these videos and this channel, because I'm going to begin sharing lessons and stories. Some will make you laugh and fall on the floor crying, and others will make you feel humbled and make you think and help you get it right. You see, if you look around this world, we're not getting it right. And you may not agree with what I'm saying, but there's a lot of wisdom in my words and in my speech. And if you can get past my Jewishness, my face, my femaleness, whatever it is that you feel, no, I will not listen to her, please put it aside. I don't need to be right. I don't need to be a leader. What I need is love and acceptance. What I want is for you to listen. I don't even need those things truly. At the end of the day, I really only need God, Hashem, himself. Everything else is extra. You are extra. Everything is extra. My body, everything, air, it's extra. He's everything. But I want and desire more. And the biggest thing that I desire is to be heard and to help and to make this world a little better, kinder, more loving than I found it. This world needs healing. So please be a leader. Please put your need to be right about any one thing on a shelf, and let's converse. Let's interact and talk and have conversations, and allow me to share what I hear from him, our Creator, our God. He is wow. He's wow. Peace on earth. Let the learning begin.